What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Thursday, September 29th, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Appreciate you all. Hope everybody's doing well. As always, let's take a look at today's horoscope. All right, well, we still have the sun in fall and the moon in fall, the king and the queen, but Venus, the little princess, is dignified now at home in dignity in Libra. So I would say that, there's definitely some good energy turning on, especially with a North Node in Taurus. This is a big upgrade to us to get Venus in Libra. It puts a lot of aspects on relationships and finding that beautiful balance, looking at connections in our life, the information, being able to go back and forth, seeing what's up with the scales in our life and how to really align things with people and with what we're trying to manifest and create to get the top-notch quality here. But it is with the sun, so it brings challenges. I don't think October is going to be an easy month by any means, especially with Mars going retrograde, Pluto going direct, Saturn going direct, and eclipses. A solar eclipse, the lunar will be in November, but it's a lot. But I think that we can kind of hold things together around the right people. And even with Saturn getting ready to station coming up in a couple weeks, we're 23 days away from Saturn coming direct. And Pluto's on the 5th? The 8th. I should know, but I think it's the 8th. This is big energy turning on. So, it's nice to see things turning on. It's nice to see Venus, the fastest moving planet, the only thing really trucking along right now, come into dignity. But remember, when it's with the sun, it does get kind of burned out. So we're losing Venus from our line of sight. So I think in some ways it almost does give it sort of a retrograde feel. And it kind of sucks to say that, but it is like this internal look at balance within ourselves and being able to find that in other people. Maybe today we feel a shift and we feel that our relationships are actually really, really valuable, or they're not, and how do we get those in alignment? I have been saying for a long time with North Node, Uranus in Taurus, and even Saturn in Aquarius, and them being in square, that, people and connection in our life is the hot commodity and is the most valuable thing we can have. Who knows? I just don't think it's something we can do alone right now, but we need to have the right energy present. You know what I mean? That's coming up. But the moon here is getting ready to finish up in Scorpio and come into Sagittarius by the evening. But it's this final day here of going through a lot of depth, but it's a little easier, I want to say, than yesterday, because it's going to make a really nice sextile triangle with Pluto and Mercury, which is stationing, getting ready to go direct here on the 2nd or the 3rd, 2.5 days from now. What is that? The 2nd? I'm all off with my days. I apologize. But it's close, so it's slowing down. But the sextile triangle is nice because Venus was in it, but Mercury and Pluto in trine has been this deeper understanding of the reality and the structures in our life and where things can go and the truth of the matter in some of the more mundane ways, and definitely work oriented, keeping things going for what is going to build something. Well, the moon here in Scorpio is kind of feeling all of that, but it's ready to trust that if it puts in the work, it can have something great. But if you are just going to obsess and, with the trine over to Neptune, just want to stay in the dream, and with Mercury opposite Neptune, just stay in the illusions in life right now, or the connections and the relationships that are illusions, they're not of the quality connections that are going to be beneficial in our lives. And we want to remember that too. It's not that we need to rely on people. We need to have that equal balance, give and take, so that we're all kind of pitching in with our value systems and the resources that each and every one of us has unique to offer and bring to the collective. So very interesting, but there's something about really getting it today And it might be through a situation where we have to stop obsessing over stories that we tell ourselves, even with Jupiter in Aries and Venus working on that opposition to Jupiter over the next couple days here. Like, we can pump ourselves up with a bunch of false illusionary stuff right now and obsess in directions that are not quality and that are not actually aligned with reality and what's going on in the world and what's going on in your personal life. We can promise ourselves the world here and believe any story we want, but are you really, focusing on what's true to your story right now? And I think we do get down to like the fact. Like, it's very interesting. Today's kind of an enlightening moment where if we're willing to look at the things that we don't want to look at, but in a positive light and put a positive spin on it because it's forcing us to make a transformation in our life that is metamorphosizing something of quality, then it's so beneficial that we just deal with those things, even if we don't want to. So it's like definitely paying attention to what we're doing to escape and slip when we can be really focused on aligning things and getting things into this really beautiful order in our lives. So overall, it's not a terrible day, but it is still the sun and the moon in fall position. And honestly, that is, it just is what it is. It's not the most happy or uplifting, energy. Of course, Libra season can be beautiful, don't get me wrong, but look at what's going on in the world right now. We got wars and pipelines and hurricanes, and it's rough out there for a lot of people. So I do think, with the moon also making this trine to Neptune, it's important to have compassion for people. But got to focus in on, the right energy that we want to go all in with, and not just stay in situations, especially if we're getting manipulated or using certain relationships to whatever it may be in life as a form of escapism. These things are, not going to go well. So we might be getting wake-up calls to where we are going too far into our own detrimental places, whatever that may be. But again, positive light and the understanding of how to make a change and get the purity and the alignment that we're looking for. You don't have to promise yourself the world right now either. I think that's another part of this, is like, you don't have to make everything just poof, happen like instant magic. Like, I think it's like step by step. Like, it's the little things that bring everything into the alignment more and more as we go. So I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily a blow everything up day, but it's definitely like paying attention to every little circumstance, every little situation, and being honest and truthful and justified within what those are, and giving yourself the credit for where you are currently, just within your own self. Even if it's a low place, like, give yourself credit because you're learning more and more and you're finding ways out. And if you're doing good, like great right now, then like definitely give yourself credit because it's difficult times. But have compassion for others that are not in that place so that we can relate. It's definitely a time of relating to people, because I feel like we're all going through on some level within ourselves something, pretty heavy, pretty dark. And it's not a bad thing to be there. It's just somewhere in our life this is happening. It's bigger for other people than some, but hey, relating, debating, talking, seeing the beauty in one another, creating that, these relationships in our life are going to bring things into stability when it's such an unstable time. And to not expect the big blah just right away, but to do the little things and you'll get the boom bow that you're looking for. You got to put the work in to get that, though. That's Mars trine Saturn, right? Put the work in, you get the reward, and it will happen quicker than you think, but don't expect it to happen. Just boom, I know we can all want things to happen fast, but it's not super fast times, if you will. The transformation's happening, but we got to be patient too. And today might be a test of our patience, but it's showing us so much of the deeper underlying truth that we definitely want to pay attention to that, See what the cards are for today. Appreciate you all in the chat. Thanks for watching. I'm a little early. All right. The Magician. Dang. I feel like... Oh, am I not getting any... I left my camera on overnight, and I think the autofocus is like... nah. Anyways. Here. The Magician. Yeah, I need to turn that camera off. A lot of alchemization. It is that, you know, especially with that sextile triangle to the moon in Scorpio, there's a lot that we're, you know, kind of realizing in this bag of, you know, almost in this hat, like we're ready to do the magic, we're ready to make things happen, but it is still like a step-by-step process in the alchemization of things. And I think it's just realizing that you have tools to make that happen, make it happen, right? And the Ten of Pentacles, I feel like if you do start using your magic and using the tools that you have right now to make something and to create balanced and harmonious situations and to see the deeper truth, there's a lot of fulfillment and a lot of like, wow, I really made this happen. Like I got there, you know, kind of that like just having all the things you need are right there, and then you can build something amazing with it. So I think we're at this point, maybe that's where what we're realizing is like that's what we can escape into. And that's maybe where this sort of divine intervention's coming through, is showing us how to use what we have right now to create something very special that will last a long time. The Hangman reversed, it's Neptune's card. It's very, oh shit, it's a very Neptunian time. And to get that card reversed is, I think, fitting, because I do think we need to get out of Neptune land a little bit. And trust me, I'm a Sun Neptune conjunction. Like it's very easy for me to get into that space, and I know it's easy for a lot of us to get into that space, but we got to be real and get ourselves out of these stuck positions and stop hanging ourselves up on fantasies when reality is showing us beautiful ways to alchemize and create something, whether it's relationships or just the changes you need in physical life to find more happiness and serenity. Like it's actually doing the physical thing and kind of putting that effort in instead of just the hanging yourself up or not doing anything or kind of sinking into a couch, meditating all day. Trust me, I am a fan of meditating, but sometimes you have to do the thing you meditated on to get the result. I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful Thursday, and I'll see you all for tomorrow's horoscope. Much love. Peace. Bye-bye.